In 1998, the world of gaming changed. Directed by the man, the myth, the legend, Hideo Kojima, Metal Gear Solid released for PlayStation 1, and IGN has declared it as the best PlayStation game of all time. Taking place 6 years after the events of Metal Gear 2, 6 members of FOXHOUND go rogue, renouncing themselves as a terrorist organization. FOXHOUND has taken over a nuclear disposal facility off an island off the coast of Alaska named Shadow Moses. Since our missions in Outer Heaven and Zanzibar, Solid Snake is enjoying his well-deserved retirement in Alaska until he is called out of retirement by our old friend Roy Campbell to stop FOXHOUND. Currently, FOXHOUND possesses a nuke on the island and they're threatening to kill whoever they want unless their demands are met. The terrorist organization is only requesting one thing: the remains of Big Boss's body. If you watched my previous video, you would know all about Big Boss, who is renowned for being the world's most legendary soldier and most importantly, the genetic father of Solid Snake. Most importantly, Metal Gear 2 ends with us killing Big Boss. FOXHOUND is requesting the remains of Big Boss so the organization can build an army of genome soldiers built from his very own DNA. In addition to possessing nukes, FOXHOUND currently hold 2 hostages. The first being DARPA Chief Donald Anderson, and the second being Arms Tech President Kenneth Baker. Both of these high-profile hostages possess the launch codes to fire the nukes from Shadow Moses. The US in this instance doesn't engage in hostage diplomacy and elects to send in Snake to rescue the 2 officials, stealthily. To support Snake in completing this operation, we need a world-class team. First up is of course Colonel Campbell, who is calling the shots again from afar, but we are also joined by new additions such as Naomi Hunter, who is presented as a genetics expert and serves as Snake's medical advisor. She provides him with nanomachines that monitor his health and provide medical support throughout his mission. Joining the team, we also have Special Advisor McDonald Miller, who was our old mentor back in the day. Miller is really cool, as we can call him anytime and he will provide us advice or hints to what we should be doing next. Finally, there's Mei Ling. Mei Ling is the support specialist for the team. Most importantly, she acts as our way to save throughout the game. Snake likes this so much that he even starts making the moves.
Nice to meet you, Snake. It's an honor to speak to a living legend like yourself. What's wrong?
Nothing. I just didn't expect a world-class designer of military technology to be so cute.
Now that we're acquainted with the team and the situation, let's get into the juicy elements. The trophies. Our first playthrough will see us securing Fox rank, which requires us to complete the following: finish the game on hard, clear in under 3 hours, save less than 80 times, 0 continues, 4 or less alerts, kill 25 or less enemies, 1 or less rations used. In addition, we will also be getting the non-canon ending, and I'll explain further into our playthrough. Once the first playthrough is complete, we'll then replay the game to get the canon ending, and then we will complete 300 VR challenges to receive our shiny platinum. After receiving our tactical briefing, we sneak our way into Shadow Moses via diving after entering via a submarine. This is also eerily similar to how we began the first Metal Gear game. We also already unlocked our first trophy, Commencing Mission, for starting a new game. After we make our way up an elevator, we discover a Hind D. It is here we see the leader of FOXHOUND, Liquid Snake. Liquid flies off in the Hind D, and we continue to infiltrate the base until we locate the DARPA Chief. When finding the DARPA Chief, he tells us the following.
What I'm about to tell you is classified information, okay? We were conducting exercises with a new type of experimental weapon. A weapon that will change the world.
What?
A weapon with the ability to launch a nuclear attack from any place on the face of the Earth. A nuclear-equipped walking battle tank.
Metal Gear. It can't be.
You knew? Metal Gear is one of the most secret black projects. How did you know that?
We've had a couple of run-ins in the past.
Rex has fallen into the hands of terrorists.
Rex?
Metal Gear Rex. The code name for the new Metal Gear prototype.
The DARPA chief then goes on and explains that 2 launch codes are required to activate Metal Gear Rex. One from DARPA chief Donald Anderson and the second being from ARMS Tech president Kenneth Baker. The DARPA chief tells us that his code has already been compromised as the rogue FOXHOUND agent Psycho Mantis has the ability to access other people's minds. Not all hope is lost as there are key cards that can initiate an emergency override for Metal Gear Rex. Very suspiciously, just as the DARPA chief starts talking about the White House and the Pentagon, he dies of a sudden heart attack. Snake doesn't have time to process the death as we hear someone outside the cell. It's a woman soldier, and Snake describes her as a rookie due to her eyes not being a soldier's eyes, and well, the fact that her safety is on. Suddenly, soldiers storm into the cell ward and we try and let the rookie do most of the killing as we have to remain under 25 kills. After the soldiers are taken care of, the rookie runs away and we're off to the armory as the DARPA chief believes that's where the second hostage, Kenneth Baker, is being held. We blow up the entrance to the armory and find Mr. Baker strapped into some deadly explosives. We are then introduced to the most iconic villain in Metal Gear Solid.
Special Operations FOXHOUND. Revolver Ocelot.
What unfolds is a legendary duel that derails into a tug-of-war between Snake and an Ocelot.
Love to reload during battle. Hiding won't help you. I understand the bullets you see. Don't you want to settle this?
Once we get Ocelot's health down further, our duel is interrupted by a camouflaged figure who slices off one of Revolver Ocelot's hands and triggers the explosives strapped around Kenneth Baker. Ocelot performs a tactical retreat and we're left facing the cyborg ninja. The exoskeleton appears to malfunction, which causes the ninja to retreat. When we speak to Kenneth Baker, he reveals that he too gave up his launch code, which gives FOXHOUND the capability to launch nukes. Kenneth Baker then starts hitting us with his cane after he believes that we killed the DARPA chief. Once he calms down, he informs us that Roy Campbell's niece, Meryl, is with us at Shadow Moses and is a previous employee of FOXHOUND. When FOXHOUND turned to a terrorist organization, Meryl resisted, which saw her being tossed into a cell that we saw earlier. Thankfully, he remembers her direct codec frequency for us to call.
I'm sure she still has it. What frequency was she at?
Oh, yeah. Let me tell you, it's... Oh, sorry. I forgot. Damn.
As an alternative, Meryl's frequency can be found at the back of the PlayStation 1 cover. Mr. Baker then asks us to find Hal Emmerich, who is one of his employees and the team leader for the Metal Gear Rex project. To end the conversation, Kenneth Baker suddenly suffers a heart attack, which is eerily similar to the DARPA chief. At the end of this dramatic sequence, we unlock Verse Revolver Ocelot for defeating Revolver Ocelot. We then call Meryl and our reputation precedes us, as Meryl is fully aware of our previous heroics.
Are you Solid Snake?
That's what some people call me.
The legendary Solid Snake? You?
During the codec call, we ask if Meryl knows the location of Dr. Emmerich, which she gives us the tip he is in the research lab. In order to get to the research lab, we enter into a large snowfield. However, we quickly receive a call from...
Just call me Deep Throat.
Deep Throat.
This mysterious individual warns Snake that there are mines in the snow. Once we clear the mines, we find the next boss waiting for us. Vulcan Raven, one of the members of FOXHOUND. Vulcan operates the turret for a tank, which causes another flashback to the original Metal Gear game. We throw grenades at the tank, hoping that one will fall into the cockpit. After another grenade, the tank is destroyed, and as a reward, we unlock Verse M1 tank, and we are able to approach Dr. Emmerich's office, which has clearly seen some action. When entering the office, we find Dr. Emmerich, who's terrified due to the ninja from earlier threatening to kill. The ninja challenges us to a fight, which requires us to apply Street Fighter level combos to apply damage. As we deal the final blow to Ninja, things start to get weird as the ninja starts insinuating that he used to know us.
Can't be. You were killed in Zanzibar.
That's right, Ninja is revealed to be the one, the only, Grey Fox. Ninja proceeds to run away, and the revelation immediately causes us to call Campbell to reveal the news. Noting Grey Fox was killed in Metal Gear 2, Naomi reveals Grey Fox was revived through gene therapy and has been fitted with a prototype exoskeleton that keeps the user drugged. We now speak to Dr. Emmerich, and we find out he is a man of culture.
Call me Otacon.
Otacon?
It stands for Otaku Convention. And Otaku's a guy like me who likes Japanimation.
There's certainly something to say about a man who wants to design Metal Gears due to his love for animes and specifically Gundams. In a codec call with Meryl, it appears she has been caught, so Otacon and Snake now depart for the search for Meryl. Prior to departing, a reward for the hardest fight in the game is the trophy versus Ninja. Meryl's disguise is broken after we find that she goes into the female's restroom as opposed to the male's restroom. Snake and Meryl then have a deep and personal chat about the nature of war and the personal philosophy of Snake. All while occurring in the women's bathroom, I might add. Eventually, Meryl gives us the first of 3 keycards that we require, and explains that we need to depart to a communications tower which houses Metal Gear Rex. We travel through the commander room, which is where we find one of the most legendary bosses in gaming, Psycho Mantis. Psycho Mantis puts a trance over Meryl, which forces Meryl to draw a gun on Snake. We perform some WWE body slams to take Meryl out. With Meryl taken out of commission, this enables us to fight Psycho Mantis one-on-one. Prior to commencing the fight, there's a big problem. Psycho Mantis can read our mind. In the PS1 days, Psycho Mantis could read your storage and tell what type of gamer you are through the games you play.
So, you like Suikoden? So, you like Azure Dreams? You like Castlevania, don't you? You enjoy role-playing games. I see that you enjoy Konami games.
In order to prevent Psycho Mantis from reading our minds, we have to move our controller port from 1 to 2. This enables us to fight Psycho Mantis freely and without his menacing interference. Once defeated, it opens a heart-to-heart moment with Psycho Mantis. The end product results in Psycho Mantis helping us to open a secret passage, which is a hidden direct route to the communications tower. After this dramatic fight, we unlock Verse Psycho Mantis. Once outside, there are some wolves that habit the track that we need to pass. In order to avoid their aggro, we're able to perform an Easter egg which sees us receive the scent of a wolf. Once we pass the track, we see Meryl get absolutely destroyed by a sniper.
Snipers, take the shot.
In order to proceed, we have to backtrack all the way to the armory and pick up a luxurious PSG-1. Returning to the communications tower, Meryl has been taken away, and we begin a boss battle with Sniper Wolf, a FOXHOUND agent who is the one that shot Meryl. What occurs is an epic boss battle between a snake and a wolf. Ultimately, the snake triumphs against the wolf, which unlocks the Sniper Wolf. Prior to proceeding, we take a photo of Meryl's blood. We do this as we are able to access the photo under the special menu, which reveals a ghostly photo of one of the game devs. When we press the option to exercise, we unlock Ghostly Encounter. When we try and enter into the communications tower, it turns out we have been bamboozled, as the wolf was only playing dead. We are knocked out by a guard and awake in a translucent state. When we awaken, we are put face to face with Liquid Snake and Revolver Ocelot. In this conversation, Liquid isn't too happy with Ocelot, as the DARPA chief still had value to FOXHOUND, and with his death poses a delays to their tactical plans. Ocelot is renowned for his torturous abilities, and due to his strategic military knowledge of the DARPA chief being lost, he's going to torture us to extract information on how to control the Metal Gear. What precedes is a torture minigame, and if we succumb to the torture, Ocelot will kill Meryl. In order to remain under the 3-hour time limit, we needed to succumb to the torture. Sorry, Meryl. After the shame of not being able to resist the torture, we are placed in a holding cell. We're not alone in the cell, as we're placed in with the DARPA chief. To supervise us, there's a guard placed outside the cell. Unfortunately for him, he is suffering from a case of the old shaky bowels. As the guard sprints to the bathroom, we sneakily hide under the bed in the cell. The genius of the guard then proceeds to investigate our cell to locate where the snake is hiding. We are then able to take the guard out and regather our gear. We return to the communications tower for the 3rd time now, and we begin an intense stair climbing section. When we finally arrive at the top of the comms tower, we are put face to face with Liquid Snake, who is operating a Hind D. Sadly, Liquid begins launching a barrage of missiles on the roof, which causes Snake to rappel down. After making our way up another set of stairs, we reunite with Liquid Snake, who strangely starts calling us his brother.
So, the snake's finally come out of his home. Are you ready now, my brother?
Why are you calling me brother? Who the hell are you?
I'm you. I'm your shadow.
What?
Ask the father that you killed. I'll send you to hell to meet him.
Once this concludes, we begin our next boss battle, Solid Snake vs Hind D. When we land our final rocket shot, Liquid proceeds to blow up the roof of the comms tower. Liquid then loses control of the Hind D and seemingly explodes, which causes Snake to say one of the coldest lines.
See you in hell, Liquid. That takes care of the cremation.
For our efforts, we unlock Verse Hind D. Snake has no time to breathe as he receives a direct hit from a sniper. It's Sniper Wolf, and she's ready for a rematch. Thankfully, this fight is very easy, as we have stacked up enough controlled rockets, which we're able to hide behind cover while sending rockets over to Sniper Wolf. When we land our final rocket, the wolf is taken down, and we unlock the Sniper Wolf rematch. Being with Sniper Wolf in her final moments, she goes into detail about who she is and why she is Sniper Wolf. As Snake goes in to put the wolf down, Otacon suddenly appears and expresses his love for her. We then leave very dramatically as we need to be ready for our next challenge. As we make our way into the facility, things are about to get chilly as we are attacked by ravens. Vulcan Raven makes his triumphant return and we gear up for a rematch. Thankfully for us, there's a strategy presented by Noob that enables us to stunlock Vulcan Raven in place as we pecker him with rockets. Once he goes down, he is left in the ice, eaten by ravens, with only bones and his minigun left behind. When the cutscene concludes, we unlock Verse Vulcan Raven. Further into this underground area, we find the holding place for Metal Gear Rex. In order to deactivate the walking nuclear tank, Otacon calls to provide the advice we have found the terminals requiring the keycard. We insert the keycard that is in our possession and find that we have to backtrack all the way to the cooler room. Waiting 2 minutes in the cold freezes the keycard, which enables us to deactivate 2 out of 3 keycards. When backtracking to activate the last keycard, we receive a call from Master Miller. His call is directly about Naomi Hunter. He lets us know that the DIA recently developed a new type of assassination weapon. This assassination weapon is called FoxDie. FoxDie is a virus that specifically targets people. Miller doesn't have all the details, but lets us know that FoxDie triggers a heart attack, which makes the death of Arms Tech President Kenneth Baker and DARPA Chief Donald Anderson a little bit more suspicious. Side note here, to explain why there was a DARPA Chief that spoke to us and a DARPA Chief in the holding cell, it turns out the DARPA Chief that suffered the heart attack was FOXHOUND Agent Octopus, as he was simply impersonating the DARPA Chief. The reason why the Master believes that Naomi is behind FoxDie is due to Snake receiving an injection before the mission, which was informed to be nanomachines, but could actually be FoxDie. We then call the Colonel, and he lets us know he has placed Naomi under arrest due to being caught sending encoded messages to Shadow Moses. With these shocking revelations coming to light, we camp out in the blast furnace for a minute until the keycard starts to boil. When travelling back to Metal Gear Rex, we receive a call from Naomi. Naomi admits that the Colonel said was true, however, she wants to clarify a few things. Firstly, Naomi grew up as an orphan until she met her big brother, Frank Yeager, also known as Grey Fox. Because we killed Grey Fox in Metal Gear 2, Naomi had no family left and decided to seek revenge by joining FOXHOUND and developing FoxDie. However, Naomi admits she was wrong about Snake. Naomi then explains that FoxDie is a type of retrovirus that targets and kills only specific people. FoxDie is programmed to kill specific people by recognizing a person's DNA, causing cardiac arrest. Snake then understands that Naomi programmed FoxDie to kill him. However, the world still needs saving, and just as Snake was about to leave, Naomi drops another bombshell.
Listen, Snake. I'm not the one who made the decision to use FoxDie.
Just as Naomi was about to expose everything, she seemingly is caught and taken away. To recap this insane turn of events, Naomi has been lying to us through the entire mission as Grey Fox is revealed to be her brother. Turns out that Grey Fox adopted Naomi after her family was killed during a war, and after the events of Zanzibar, Naomi developed this hatred for Snake. Because of Naomi's hatred towards Snake, she developed the retrovirus FoxDie. Unfortunately for Snake, FoxDie is now part of him, with the explicit purpose to end his heart after an unknown time period. The real kicker occurs when Naomi reveals Campbell and the US government knew all along that FoxDie would be injected into Snake with the knowledge that it would kill him. My goodness gracious me, is all that confusing yet? Let me know in the comments. With no time to process what's just happened, Snake inserts the third keycard, which seemingly saves the world, until Snake is double-crossed yet again.
Detonation code activated.
No, why?
Ready for launch.
I deactivated it.
The Colonel then calls and reveals that Master Miller's body has been found dead, which means who we have been talking to has been.
Snake, you've been talking to me, dear brother. Liquid, how the...
When we leave the control room, we see Liquid face to face. Liquid then informs us this whole mission has been a diversion.
A diversion?
The Pentagon only needed for you to come into contact with us. That's what killed the Arms Tech president and decoy Octopus.
You don't mean...
That's right. You were sent here to kill us so they could retrieve Metal Gear undamaged, along with the bodies of the Genome soldiers. From the beginning, the Pentagon was just using you as a vector to spread FoxDie.
FoxDie? It can't be.
Through Liquid's spy in the Pentagon, he tells Snake that Naomi altered FoxDie's targets to include Solid Snake and changed the time of activation for Solid to an unknown wildcard time. Liquid then tells Snake that their genetic code is identical. How might this be, you might be wondering? Well, it's because Solid Snake and Liquid Snake are twins. Noting Liquid and Solid were genetically engineered clones of Big Boss, turns out Solid Snake had all the dominant genes of Big Boss, leaving Liquid Snake with all of the recessive genes. This effectively makes Solid Snake genetically blessed, which leaves Liquid inferior in every way from a genetical baseline. This is why Liquid has no remorse for us as he starts to pilot Metal Gear Rex. A boss fight unveils between Solid Snake and Metal Gear Rex, and this fight turns into a real dance as we look to deal damage with our rockets but avoid a series of lasers, rockets, and machine gun fire. As we weaken Metal Gear Rex, Grey Fox appears trying to assist us. As he holds Metal Gear Rex, he reveals that it was he that took the alias Deep Throat, which ties up a loose end from earlier. Snake tries to reason with Grey Fox, even bringing up Naomi. As soon as Naomi is mentioned, he reveals that he was the one that killed her parents. To redeem himself, Grey Fox charges at Rex, which sees his arm cut off from Rex's laser. Fox draws a pistol, but is crushed in response by Rex. Now cornered, Fox releases a series of shots, which destroys Rex's radar. This exposes Liquid's cockpit, which enables us to have another tangle with Rex. Once we land our final rocket, we think we've killed Liquid. For our efforts, we unlock Verse Metal Gear Rex. Rex releases a massive explosion, which sees Snakes being knocked back into a wall and falls unconscious. When awoken, we find Liquid alive, and he tells us he shares the same wish as Big Boss, which is to create a nation of soldiers and end the exploitation of soldiers by governments. Liquid then informs us about the project Les Enfants Terribles, French for the terrible children. This was a United States government project developed in the early 1970s, which aimed to produce clones of renowned soldier Big Boss. As Liquid and Snake are brothers from this project, they aren't Big Boss's only children.
What? The Genome soldiers. They too are his progeny, carrying on his genetic legacy.
With the completion of the Human Genome Project, Liquid was able to raise an army of literal brothers with the genes of Big Boss. The Genome soldiers currently have a big problem. They all have a genetic disorder which requires the remains of Big Boss to survive. We then see Meryl has been captured and is tied up behind us. Calling the Colonel only reveals that the Secretary of Defense is now in charge of the operation, and gives us a 20-ish minute warning that he will be sending nuclear bombers to Shadow Moses to cover up the fact that the government knew about FoxDie. The Colonel tries redeeming himself for double-crossing Snake by issuing an order to cancel the bombing run. However, we see him being placed under arrest by the Secretary of Defense. In addition to the bombing run, Liquid has rigged an explosive to detonate in 3 minutes, which acts as the foreground to an epic macho v macho no-shirt fistfight between genetically cloned twins on top of the carcass of Metal Gear Rex. Epic. Once we land the final blows on Liquid, we unlock this Liquid Snake. Liquid falls to the depths of the unknown, seemingly ending things once and for all. Because we are in our non-canon playthrough, we are reunited with Otacon, and we hijack a car and put pedal to the metal as we have less than 10 minutes to the nuclear bombing run. Just as Snake and Otacon think they're home free, Liquid returns from the depths of the unknown for some revenge. After a thrilling car sequence, the pair seemingly collide and the screen flashes to white and the credits begin to roll. We achieve Fox Rake, which unlocks Elite, as well as Dress for the Job for obtaining the Stealth Camo, which is given for achieving the non-canon ending. We then replay the game and this time survive Ocelot's torture, as opposed to succumbing to it. Then we defeat Liquid on top of Metal Gear Rex. We are able to save Meryl and witness a touching reunion between two unlikely lovebirds. Then we are able to start escaping with Meryl driving as opposed to Otacon. This time, as we escape the base, we crash the Jeep into Liquid. Thankfully, everyone is seemingly okay until we see Meryl pinned underneath the Jeep. Suddenly, the pair sees Liquid, who is about to finish things once and for all. Just as Liquid is about to land the final blow, he suffers a heart attack and dies from FoxDie. This is what I call cinema. Then, in an incoming codec call, Colonel Campbell has been released and informs us that the Secretary of Defense is the one being arrested for treason. And thankfully, the nuclear bombing run has been called off. Snake then informs Campbell that the best thing for himself is to go into hiding, to escape the government and to enjoy the life he has left. We then ride out with Meryl into Alaska on board a snowmobile together as the game officially concludes. Once the credits finish, we are left with an awesome cliffhanger as Revolver Ocelot makes a phone call to the President of the United States. Ocelot confirms to the President that he succeeded in his mission to retrieve the Metal Gear Rex data, and with the exception of Donald Anderson, whom he deliberately killed while making it look like an accident, no one suspected his true allegiance. We then unlock Decked Out for obtaining the Infinite Bandana, which is unlocked for completing the game with the canon ending. Just like in Metal Gear and Metal Gear 2, we unlocked Cover to Cover Solid for reading the screenplay. Now, our final two trophies are tied to VR training missions, and sadly, there are exactly 300 to complete. When we complete the first mission, which involves taking out the soldier, we unlock Get Good as a reward. Then, over 6 hours and 40 minutes later, we complete our final VR mission. When returning to the menu, we unlock Practice Makes Perfect, and of course, the Platinum, Solidified. And just like that, the best PlayStation game of all time, Metal Gear Solid, has been conquered. When sneaking into Shadow Moses to completing 300 VR missions, we've witnessed betrayals, heart-wrenching losses, and some truly iconic boss battles. We've uncovered the truth about FoxDie, the origins of Snake's genes, and the complex relationship between twin brothers Liquid and Snake. I'm easily able to say this game is a masterpiece. A massive thank you for joining me on this journey, which I've kept some of you in limbo for over 9 months. Let me know in the comments if you're excited for Metal Gear Solid 2, and I'll see you all in the next one.